Hello everyone and welcome back to the Warwick F1 show. Wake up, it's finally over. F1's spring enforced break / mini hibernation is over. So we're going to get back on track and we're heading to, never mind, you can go back to sleep, it's Miami. I'm your host Daniel and I am joined for this Miami preview by my two co-hosts Callum and Lucy, and also Harvey is joining us today. Thank you very much everyone for joining me. Normally when we do a preview episode, we like to start it with an overview of the track, give our thoughts on the circuit, the kind of racing it produces. But we've kind of already done that because we recorded a circuit tier list, which you can go and watch if you like. Miami was in the first part of that two-parter. To paraphrase, I think we said it's trash. If you can fit an F1 track in your car park, then your car park is too big. And it ended up in its own tier on its own with the company of 0 other F1 circuits. So that tells you what the three of us thought about it. Harvey, we weren't allowed to get your take because you didn't join us, but what do you think of the Miami circuit?
Well, I mean, it's got the fake marina, which I think is just literally all it needs to be said. I think it's a pretty terrible track. I mean, there's like parts of it that I think are okay and quite innovative. Like, I quite like the sort of Mickey Mouse chicane bit, although it's just terrible for racing, isn't it? There's very like few sort of overtaking spots, and they're kind of just at the end. Well, I mean, there's one maybe at the end of the sort of long back straight, but I think it's just also just it doesn't look nice. Like it's not under the lights. I don't know. It's just got a really not great sort of air to it. Sorry, I feel like we've already been quite negative on the podcast beforehand, but I don't really have any sort of that much positive to say about it.
It's okay. I called it a beacon of trash.
Beacon of trash.
There's not really any one defining feature you can think like, yes, this saves the... I mean, maybe, if anything, the Mickey Mouse chicane, as you said, but I don't really think back to some iconic moments that I've seen to do with the track or any iconic racing for the sake of it. So there's not a lot we can say about it that's positive.
It does say a lot that the people preferred the Lego race last year to the actual race in terms of sort of entertainment, to be honest, last year. Yeah, I just don't think it's a particularly great track for Formula One racing, to be honest, but it's got a long contract, doesn't it? It's going to be...
It's there until 2040.
Oh my goodness, we have to put up with it for another 40 years at least, and then they'll probably go for it again.
I'm going to be 34 by the time that the Miami Grand Prix can find
Oh my days. Do we get
now I feel old.
Do we get the Lego race again, though?
Not
if we get that every year, I'd be okay with it.
Lego
Okay.
races every year would be great.
I remember I also thought that the Lego race was interesting because I was really questioning whether they'd be able to pick up like all the little Lego pieces from off the tarmac. So I've spent the whole race wondering if someone was about to get a puncture from running over some Lego.
Yeah, I think there was enough of it on the track. The drivers were not being careful at all in that race. But it was very fun to watch. So, Formula One's back. It's been forever. I've filled my head with useless exam information, so I feel like we need a little recap of the season, what's happened so far, what's everyone's opinions on it. Callum, we've had 3 races. What's your kind of take on where the season's going, how it's shaping up?
In terms of where I think it's going is the fact that I'm not really too sure, because if anything for the past few races to go by, then it would tell you that Mercedes are going to completely walk the season. They've looked pretty much unstoppable for the past 3 races. Ferrari have looked good on the start, but haven't really been able to challenge them in any way. Their strategy is usually not that great anyway. McLaren have had a lot of reliability issues, and we're maybe showing signs of improvements come Japan, but they still, I think, have a long way to go in terms of pace. And Red Bull, I think, had neither any reliability or pace for that matter to even challenge for a race win. So I think Mercedes has looked very dominant so far, and the only hope that we can have for any sort of title battle is if Antonelli continues to look as good as he has done over the past few races, because I think he's had an amazing start to the season, something that a lot of people probably didn't expect given how inexperienced he is compared to his much more experienced teammate Russell. But I still think you can't have that as what you're saying for the rest of the season, because what we're going to talk about, at least for a bit in this episode, is that a lot of teams are bringing upgrades, and especially because we're near the start of a regulation change as well, it means that when we're talking about upgrades that people are bringing, they have the potential to bring maybe even seconds, not tenths of seconds. So there's a lot of ground to be made up. And so I really think it could change a lot throughout this break that we've just had, and also the next 3-week break that we have after Miami as well, which unfortunately has another gap. So yeah, Mercedes dominance, but I do think that things could change over the course of the season.
I agree. I think we're right to be optimistic. I mean, Oscar Piastri got very close to the win in Japan, right? Were it not for the ill-timed safety car, he probably would have got that one. Harvey, are you a bit more optimistic for some competition coming up in the races?
Yeah, I think so. I still think that qualifying is going to be pretty, like, I still think the Mercedes, I think, has had a good few tenths on the field in qualifying throughout the entire sort of season so far. And I feel like it hopefully might be a little bit closer, but I still think that gap will be there or thereabouts. But I think there's reason to be optimistic. I mean, we'll get onto the upgrades in a little bit, but I think if you look at, like, McLaren are definitely on an upward trajectory. They were quite unlucky not to win the race, actually, with Piastri in Japan. And I think it's become pretty clear that with the Mercedes, if they're in clean air, they will just walk the field. They're basically unstoppable. But if you are ahead of them, it's quite hard for them. It's sometimes quite hard for them to overtake, and especially at a track like Miami, which is, you know, quite difficult to overtake. A little bit like Suzuka in that regard. It's like, I feel like if the Ferrari and McLaren starts just as good as they have been, you know, I feel like we could maybe, you know, Mercedes could be under a bit of a challenge, particularly I think with McLaren, because they've obviously got a lot of upgrades coming in, and we'll talk about them in a bit. But I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks. Do you reckon that McLaren got good chances this weekend?
Yeah, I'd say I'd rate McLaren's chances. I think a team that'll be interesting to watch will be Ferrari. They're bringing upgrades, which we know with Ferrari, that'll either mean that they lap the whole field or that they will be lapped by the whole field with their new upgrades. The other thing I would say to watch with Ferrari is that the FIA have slightly changed some of the rules for F1 over their little enforced 5-week break, and one of those is to do with the start procedures. Basically, it means that I'm not an engineer, so I don't really understand how it works. But the thing
I was going to ask you guys about this, but I have no idea what any of these things mean.
The thing that Ferrari did that meant that they got such great starts, and that they were known for their such great starts, isn't allowed anymore. I think it's something to do with the amount of, like, turbo spin or something you're allowed.
Yeah, I think because is it that Ferrari had a smaller turbo, and so it was easier to rev up, and that meant that during the pre-race procedure where they all, like, put their foot down but don't go anywhere, which is like what you do on the F1 game, is it meant that they could got their car more up to full speed quicker, essentially.
Feels like what happens on the M25 as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't it called, like, spooling or something? It was something like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It is.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, because it's like in a sewing machine when you, like... I
see.
Yeah. Because, I think, I don't know. I know they're changing the start procedure. I'm not sure if they're changing... Have they changed the mechanism as well?
I mean, surely they can't expect Ferrari to change their if the
We'd have
rules
heard a lot
the
of
rules
noise.
were the rules were released, because it wasn't at the start of the break. It was like it was about halfway through, or maybe even like a week ago. So I don't think they can expect Ferrari to change their engine or significant components of that in that time. So I think Ferrari wouldn't have had time to adapt if it is negatively affecting their engine. So if that is the case, then maybe there will be problems for them around this circuit.
Yeah.
But that's very much a maybe. I think.
Yeah.
The fact only 3 races. That is still a fair few races, and races on different sorts of circuits. But the fact we've only had 3 races of the whole regulation set, and then we've had a 5-week break, which does provide time for lots of teams to bring upgrades, means that I think Mercedes will still probably be kind of at the top of the pile, but apart from that, I'd have really no idea what to expect from the order of the grid going into next weekend. This weekend. Next weekend?
This weekend.
This weekend.
This weekend, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's just it, right? All of these teams are bringing upgrades. Cadillac are bringing upgrades too, going to shoot to the front of the grid, I'm sure. We'll see that in sprint qualifying immediately.
One more thing for my fellow free practice enthusiasts after this, I know that you're usually devastated by the arrival of a sprint weekend because it means you get fewer free practice sessions. Because of the slight changes the FIA have made to the rules, free practice is now 90 minutes long tomorrow. So if you have maybe an exam you're wanting to procrastinate revision for or something, can recommend.
But this is I think, especially with the new upgrades though, doesn't less practice time mean it's a good thing because you got more chaos and the teams have less times to test these upgrades essentially, which lots of teams are bringing as we're about to discuss, or we have mentioned.
Yeah, for us it's arguably a good thing with less practice time, but for the teams it's very definitely a bad thing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Cadillac would be furious.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a great situation when you've been developing upgrades for 4 weeks and then you come back and you have one practice session in which to use them, especially if you're bringing a whole raft like McLaren probably are and Ferrari probably are.
And especially, I'm imagining if you had like a reliability issue 10 minutes into that practice session and then just you're done, mate. You're done for.
And then it's not exactly like there's a race weekend immediately after as well to test them. It's then 3 weeks, isn't it, until Canada, isn't it? Yeah. So it's it'll be a bit strange for them. I mean, they'll obviously be able to get at least a decent bit of data across the whole weekend. Not just in practice. I mean, Aston Martin will probably be using the race as a chance to test whatever. But I think I it's not exactly ideal, but I suppose at least if the upgrades obviously don't work for McLaren, Ferrari, Cadillac, whoever, they've got time to sort of tweak it or remove it or whatever, and before Canada, I think, which should be all right.
Exactly. Yeah, it should be. Okay, we'll move on from upgrade chat. Callum, you mentioned we mentioned the patches that have come through to fix the 2026 regulations, the updates that dropped on the 20th of April, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, the race start thing, I think it's largely for safety. There's a low power start detection mode, basically, where if you don't have enough power off the start, then it kind of forces some energy into your MGUK so you can actually get going. Because do you remember Australia, Lawson avoiding Colapinto? No, Colapinto avoiding Lawson
have
really close.
Ridiculously
Just kind of
good reaction times.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've had plenty of examples to basically back up what the drivers have been saying, where these new regulations do have the potential to cause some serious incidents like that one, and obviously the incident with Behrman in Japan. So I think that is a sensible thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that prompted a lot of discussion as well. Another important thing: boost is now less powerful in the race because they wanted to encourage less of a closing speed because of the Behrman incident. There was a lot of closing speed there, right?
So is that overtake mode when you are less than...
No, boost is the one that you just have the whole lap, basically.
Oh, you have the whole lap, right,
yeah.
okay, fair enough.
But they've made it less powerful.
That was the crazy thing, because there wasn't something where the drivers weren't even in necessary control of it sometimes, which was absolutely bizarre to me. But I think it was something like they've changed it, reduced it from 350 kilowatts to 250 kilowatts. That was the figure that I saw, which hopefully, and it also should make the issue of what's it called when they get to the end of the super clipping, hopefully should make that a bit better, because that was pretty horrible to watch, especially when they into 130R and you could just see the cars just not as quick as they should be through there, which is just and especially at the end of the straight in Australia and China as well. I feel like if they can sort that issue, because I'm happier for the cars to be a bit slower if it just means that you feel like they're being pushed throughout the entire lap and it's not better to go slower to go faster, which I feel like you had a bit at Japan, with the super clipping and stuff.
Yeah, we just want a performance challenge for the drivers, right? They want to feel pushed. We want it to look like they're pushing, which is why there are also the qualifying updates to reduce the amount of super clipping that we're going to have. Something about lowering recharge. I won't pretend to understand it, but at least it's steps in the right direction, it sounds like.
At least they've recognised that qualifying is a problem.
Yeah, which it really is,
really
or was.
is, yeah.
Hopefully was, but we'll see this weekend.
No, I still won't think that I think there is something just inherently that problematic in the regulations that have made qualifying just a less, not as good of a sort of product to watch, because I mean last year I think quali was the best bit of last year, because the racing I think was pretty poor last year, and the racing I think is on balance better this year in terms of overtaking. There's obviously safety problems and stuff, but I think that qualifying has just become so much worse because you feel like they're not just pushing to the level that they should be pushing to get out lap time, and you don't see those sort of on the edge laps that you saw last year that can, where you can just sort of eke out a few hundredths or a few tenths to sort of like that sort of Verstappen lap at Japan. You just didn't have that last race, I don't think.
Yeah, it's kind you kind of lose the nature of what qualifying is always meant to be about, because as a lot of drivers have said, you sometimes have to be counterintuitive in how you approach corners, how you have to actually be slower in some corners and not put the heavy foot down, but you have to almost save energy for another straight or something coming up, which again seems kind of bonkers the way that we've all known and grown up watching qualifying about. So yeah, I think that was perhaps one of the main things that was dissatisfying to people watching these new regulations, and also dissatisfying to the drivers as well. So if that can improve that and make things maybe going slightly in the right direction whilst also improving safety, that will be a very good thing, I think.
I'm hoping as well that if they any changes to qualifying will also make the process more fun for the drivers and make it more fun to watch, but also hopefully narrow, actually as teams bring upgrades as well, narrow some of the gaps, because like last year it felt like qualifying was always super tight going into Q3, and this year it just feels like it isn't. It feels like we're consistently having pole positions got by like 3-4 tenths of a second and things like that. So I feel like I'd like to see some closer battles. Right, I very much felt some of the first qualifying, so like provided the Mercedes set a lap, that they would almost undoubtedly be leagues ahead of everyone else, and so I'd quite like for that to be even just a bit closer, a bit of a nice trajectory to be on. That
is true, but I think as well, I'm not sure if that's necessarily a consequence of the new regulations themselves. I think we might have always got that with new regulations. Problem, it might be that it's more of an extent and more of a problem with these specific regulations, but I think always you're going to have massive gaps when it comes to new regulations then as teams develop across that, because these developments become more like improving a tenth of a second rather than a second. You naturally get the grid kind of compressing in lap times, I think. So.
Oh no, I think that probably is the case. I just think because we're not enjoying watching qualifying as an experience anymore, the fact that it's not even like, well, we hate watching qualifying, but at least it's close.
Fair enough.
We're like, we hate watching qualifying and they're all a second apart from each other. What is this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little bit of hyperbole, but my point stands.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Another chapter to the changes is wet weather changes, because if we look at the forecast for Miami this weekend, there is a high chance of thunderstorms and rain on Sunday, which is exciting. Just what we need to spice up the Miami weekend, especially.
Especially a nice little wet-dry combo with a probably dry sprint race and qualifying, and then a wet full race on Sunday.
Of course, it was reversed last year. We had a wet sprint race and a dry
absolutely
Grand Prix.
Nothing happened.
Not much happened. Charles Leclerc definitely made it through the laps to grid, didn't he?
I don't remember that.
Memory's a bit foggy tactically.
I remember. I don't know what happened there. The prospect of Miami in the wet, Lucy. What we're thinking?
I mean, any other circuit, I'd hit a wet race and think, wow, this is going to be. There's a good chance for this to be an absolute classic. Here I think Miami wet race. Here's a chance for it to not be the worst race of the season. No, I'm excited. Obviously, provided that the weather is still good enough for the actual race to go ahead. With thunderstorms, there's always the thing that it sometimes, even if the rain is not that bad, when if there's lightning as well, then it means they might have to cancel because of their like medical helicopter not being able to take off and things like that. So hopefully the weather is good enough for the race to happen, but the highest chances of rain are predicted to be in like the middle of the day Miami time, which is around when the race would be starting. So I think it could be good. I think it could be interesting.
Could you imagine if the race got cancelled and we didn't have like a proper F1 race for about
9 weeks?
Yeah,
my days.
That would be nuts, wouldn't it? I mean,
That
was
would not be
because
good.
it's not like it's in the middle of like a triple header or something where it's like, it's a bit annoying. That'd be like 9 weeks without an F1 race. That'd be crazy. Yeah.
We thought we were going crazy when we were doing the tier list after about God knows what kind of
Yeah,
The
what
amount,
tier
the
list?
amount of
What tier list?
intermediate, the amount of
Episodes, what we do.
intermediate content that Daniel's going to have to think up for different episodes
right,
is
let's
going to
rate-
go off the charts.
Let's rate
So-
the driver's helmets now.
Yeah.
We're rating
Let's rate
drivers'
all the
facial
F2
hairs.
circuit.
Uh,
Speaking of F2, though, we send them all out earlier on Sunday morning to go check the weather's okay,
As
because
always.
F2 are
Yeah.
joining us in Miami for the first time. So if you are a feeder series fan, keep an eye on them.
Ever the guinea
I'm sure
pigs.
they'll be normal.
Yes, absolutely. Racing.
F2 always predictable.
Yeah, on a track for the first time. Maybe in,
In
the
the
rain. In
rain.
the rain. No chance for chaos whatsoever.
Oh, God.
Got 8 cars finish or something. I don't know.
And one
That's a
other
bit
thing
optimistic.
that came in a few hours ago as well is that boost will be turned off when it's wet in Miami. So we might not get much overtaking, but maybe it'll still be chaos somehow.
But then, is that not going to, rain being the great equalizer, is that not going to be make things potentially better? Because we're not going to be seeing as much super clipping and the battery will not have as much of an effect? Because we have seen that in the past with normal engines where, because the drivers can't put the full power down, it's more just up to driver cunning. So is that, could it actually make, not sure about the racing better, but like it
The
will
concept of
bunch
it.
the cars up a bit more in terms of pace. I don't know. I'm asking this as an open question that any of you three are welcome to answer.
So you're telling me Verstappen's going to win on Sunday? That's your prediction now? Being the
It
wet
was
weather-
not.
wet weather
I
monster
didn't
that
know
he is.
that it was wet weather when I was making my
Right,
prediction.
You always got to look
You're gonna
at the
quickly
Met
no,
office before you come on the podcast, Callum. It's
That's
step
true.
number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not a BBC weather person.
Can I just-
Or is that
I
BBC
check
as
both.
well?
I check both.
Fair,
both.
fair.
Can I just put Lance Stroll in my top 5 now? He's like,
He's going to get pole
he's
position
going to get
Oh,
pole.
again.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll's second pole position of his career.
Absolutely.
Fernando Alonso wins
Yes. Yeah, hasn't
the
Lance...
sprint, obviously, because his car won't make it the full distance
No
in
way.
the
One of
actual Grand Prix.
One of the crazy stats I've seen is that like Lance Stroll has more poles since like 2013 or something than Fernando Alonso. Just genuinely one of those mental stats.
That is evidence that you can't trust every stat that you read.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is
Livery-
why you should only trust the opinions of the Warwick F1 show instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely unbiased every time without
Yeah.
fail.
Not foul.
As we look at Callum in an Aston Martin t-shirt.
Look, I collect the different tops again. Sorry, you're looking at me for bias, and then you've got Lucy, who just... Do you support Williams by any chance, Lucy?
Wow, Callum, wow. You were crashing out a couple of weeks ago because Lando Norris wasn't winning in Japan.
Oh no, I just accepted the L at that
And
point.
so have I. We both accepted our respective failures.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. Let's do livery chat. We've got a couple of special liveries. They always happen when we come to Miami. They're quite fun this time. Let's start with the maybe less fun one, which is Cadillac. They've waxed some stars on their car and the back of the rear wings a little bit colourful.
Because in case the reveal of their car at the Super Bowl and their general branding hadn't clued you into it, Cadillac's actually an American team.
No, wait. News to me. Honestly, like if you didn't tell me that there was a livery change, I wouldn't have actually noticed. Like it's just a bit of stuff on the back.
Do you know what I'm hoping? That this is like, it's going to be a progressive livery change for each of their 3 home races. And so by the time we get to Las Vegas, their car is going to be red, white, and blue, glittery. There's going to be like fireworks all over it. It's going to
have speakers on the back that play the American national anthem or
It's
something like
got
that.
eagles plastered over it.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Such a good idea.
That would be worse than when Haas had the Russian flag on the front wing of because that was at least just
Back
the
when
front
they
one.
had the sponsorship.
You're right,
In 21,
yeah.
V-Carb's livery, however, absolutely pops, in my opinion. It looks like a lemon, very citric.
The return of the banana car, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
I mean, well, Harvey said it best. We have been missing some yellow on the grid, I think, and I don't know. Whoever is the livery designer at RB deserves a raise. Frankly, I mean, they always seem to. I don't think they've had a bad livery in the past 5 years or something. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They might actually spend more money on that than on their actual car development. So we will. I was a big fan of it.
That's
is this
just so
going to
they
be
don't
the new
outdevelop Red
version
Bull.
of Red Bull Catering RB livery design?
We just spent it on our livery guys.
Apparently, it's themed around the Red Bull summer flavour. I don't know what.
Oh, don't
flavour.
tell me that's just ruined that livery for me. The fact they're doing it to advertise a new brand of Red Bull.
No, it's the same brand of Red Bull they were advertising last year, except last year it was pink coloured and this year it's yellow coloured.
Wait, are they actually related to the pink Red Bull flavour? Not that
Yes,
I
that was
actually
why they-
drink energy drinks because
That was
I'm
why
not a
they
big
did
fan.
the pink RB in Miami last year.
That's just really let that car down for me, in my opinion. Now that I know it's just based off of the drink. I mean, it seems obvious now, but
No. But no. I think you said it seemed very Renault. I think it feels kind of late 90s Jordan-esque as well with the yellow and black.
Mhm.
If like the car shape was nicer.
True.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's like I wish it was all yellow because there's some bits splotches of white, and I know that's related to the like normal livery. But if it was just all yellow, they just went full banana. That would be incredible. I think. But I think it is a great livery, and Callum's right. They do not miss on the livery front. I mean, if the car's actually been quite alright racing. I was going to say the car's not been as good, but they've been getting points, haven't they? Lawson's had a great season, actually. I just want to shout out to Liam Lawson. He's been smashing it recently, honestly. But I think it's a good... Going back to the livery. I think it is a good livery. Sorry, I just wanted to say Liam Lawson's been doing amazing recently. But yeah, I think it's a good livery. And much better than the Cadillac one, because the Cadillac one I don't think is that much of a livery change. No one would notice it.
I knew it was a livery change, and I completely forgot about it until about 2 minutes before we started recording this episode. So
I've actually just seen on here the white splodges on the livery, and like it does actually look like they've just run out of paint. They should have gone full yellow. I agree with that.
you know where they're a problem? It's on the race suits. Because it looks like urine. It looks like the drivers have wet themselves on the race suits.
But at least now, if they do actually wet themselves, then it won't be visible when they get out of the car because it's already the colour of the race.
Yeah. They'll just.
They've been playing the long game here, Become. I mean, if I've just realised, I've said they look like the late 90s Jordans, and we've got a wet race this weekend. Vicombe 1-2.
Look, I will not.
Every single driver crashes into each
Arvin
other on the
Lindblad
opening lap.
P1. Please, if you want to go with that as your predictions, then
No.
by all means, because that means I can make up some ground. Then yeah.
Is that a reference to the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix?
That is a
perchance?
reference in the 1990.
Got it.
Can't believe I've just compared Miami and Spa. God, I hate myself.
Unfortunately, was not alive in 1998.
Neither was I, but...
Neither.
I don't think I was. I don't think.
You don't think? How many years have you dropped back in university?
Deferred it for about 10 years.
10-year long gap year or something.
Yeah.
We should have been there. That was a great race, actually.
This
It
is
was good
this is
race.
when we reveal you've been a time traveller this whole time.
Time travel.
Oh no, we're getting up to the passage of time. No, we can't.
Right,
start
I'm
talking
gonna move this on now to our predictions for the Miami Grand Prix.
no.
It's a sprint weekend, so we're doing sprint winner instead of pole position. It's the usual stuff. You get 3 points if you're bang on with your top 5 or sprint win, and you get 1 point if you are 1 position away. Lucy, would you like to kick us off with your sprint winner and top 5, please?
I will gladly do so. I've said that he got sprint pole last year. He did not sprint win last year because Max Verstappen decided to forget how to enter a pit box. He's going to right that wrong. I've said Kimi Antonelli is going to win the sprint. Callum, why are you raising your eyebrows at me like
No,
that?
no, I think
It's
that's a very.
championship leader,
I think
Callum.
that's a very no. I wasn't meaning that at all. I think it's a very good possibility.
I have said P1 in the race, Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
P2 George Russell. P3 Lewis Hamilton. P4 Kimi Antonelli. And P5 Charles Leclerc.
Mm-hmm. They're familiar. I may as well just do mine now because you've just stolen all of it. My sprint winner, also Antonelli. My P1, also Piastri. P2, you said Russell? Yeah. Also Russell. P3, I think we're different. I've put Antonelli.
Yeah.
P4, I'm going for Norris,
No.
which you didn't say. Norris has been still out-qualified by Piastri at every race this season, by the way. So
Yeah.
We don't.
hence why I decided to put him so low down.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Callum. So I know I'm looking at you when I said that, Callum.
No, honestly, I've actually put Piastri ahead of Norris. As
Okay,
well.
okay, that's fine then. That's fine. And I put Leclerc P5 as well.
Oh my god, I think I finally cooked with my prediction.
or mine are generationally washed. We'll have to wait.
We're going to
and
find out what's stronger, my curse or your incredible predicting ability.
Yeah. Unstoppable force meets movable object right there. Harvey, sprint and top 5, please.
So sprint win, I've gone with my heart, and I've said Charles Leclerc because I felt like I had to. But then on top 5, I went Russell because I think he's going to bounce back, and I still think that the championship at the moment is his to lose. I know Antonelli's obviously won the last 2 races, but I think it's a lot of pressure on a 19-year-old. So I feel like it's still in Russell's hands at the moment. I went Leclerc in P2, Norris in P3 ahead of Piastri. I think Norris's his championship defence hasn't exactly got off on a good start, but I could see him getting a podium this race and finally starting to sort of, I don't know, wear interaction and get into it. I think Antonelli in P4, and then Piastri in P5. That's my top 5. Thanks.
Sensible.
We've at least the three of us. We've all kind of chosen to put Piastri very high up because you went with the winner, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I've also gone with him quite high up, obviously hoping that the McLaren upgrades are working. I have not predicted with my heart for the sprint win, but I've also actually gone for Leclerc. But I think I'm wondering, obviously Ferraris have been very good on the start, and so I'm wondering if they can get ahead at the start, and a combination of the fact that it's a sprint, so it's not many laps, combined with the fact that Miami is quite difficult to overtake, maybe they might have a chance at winning the sprint, if anything, probably not the race. I've gone with Russell again for P1. I think he's always going to be a very good shout for the win this season. Piastri P2, again, I think that the McLaren upgrades in particular I have quite a bit of confidence in, famous last words perhaps, but I think McLaren have undoubtedly been the best team in terms of bringing upgrades over the past few years. The fact that in three or so years they were able to get from pretty much the back of the grid to the front of the grid is such a huge feat, and I think they'll be able to do that again, hopefully not in a single upgrade, but definitely get closer to the front. Then I've gone with Antonelli in P3, continuing with the good fortune and the good performance that he's had over the past few races. Leclerc in P4, and then Lando Norris rounding out the top 5.
All very fair. Thank you, Callum. So we're going 2 apiece for Antonelli versus Leclerc for the sprint win. What should be George Russell now? And we just deny
Maybe.
all of us.
Well,
deny
to be
points.
fair, none of us getting it right, that would fit in with what we have predicted previously on
Absolutely.
episodes on
Yeah.
just complete rubbish.
Yeah.
Please still tune in, everybody.
yeah,
That's what we're talking about to a certain extent.
What I've really done is I've just dragged you all down with me, given how similar all our predictions are.
Yeah, that's equally possible. Speaking of which, DNF and random prediction, please, Lucy.
DNF, I've gone with... I think I actually just said what's a random team. When Audi went Nico Hülkenberg for a DNF, just not because I think he's going to do anything wrong. If anything, maybe if it's a wet race. He had quite a good time at some wet races last year. But I just feel like Audi's just going to be kind of anonymous. It could be engine failure. It could just be... Yeah, it could just be him driving into someone. Who knows? Yeah. My random prediction, it's a wet race, and I believe as well it will rain before the start of the race. My prediction is that at least one car starts on wet tyres. Full wet tyres, not inters.
All wets.
Full wet,
Famously
blue tyres.
useful.
The full wet blue tyres.
Right, with no tyre blankets. We're just, okay, fair enough.
Hopefully
that is
Williams
random.
as well, because the full wet tyres are blue, and so the blue would match their car nicely, but that's not part of my prediction. That's just a personal preference.
Good, because then you wouldn't get it at all, probably.
We
But-
could see the RB with the medium tyres. So wouldn't it be the same effect? No. With
Well, hypothetically,
the
also
yellow.
the hard
Yeah.
tyres, given the random bits of white
Yeah,
bits
true.
are on the
Yeah. Well, that would be the Cadillac. That would be the Cadillac for
Yeah.
the hard.
Okay.
Ferrari on soft tyres just because it matches their car.
Red Bull put on the full wets just because it matches their car.
Aston
Even on the
Martin- Aston
dry.
Martin.
Even on the dry.
Aston and the Inters versus.
Please, yeah.
Yeah. Into the 4 and then get disqualified after the race because they haven't done 2 tyre compounds. That's clever, isn't it? Okay, my DNF, I've gone for Carlos Sainz. Simply because I was writing these predictions in the notes app on my phone on the bus on the way here, and the first suggestion after I put DNF : was Sainz. So it just appeared to me. So I'm guessing.
So you can thank your phone or your notes
the keyboard
if
on
you
my,
get
on
it
my
right.
phone.
It was a
Exactly.
message from God.
Yeah. It
God
was.
hates Carlos Sainz, apparently.
What's he ever done wrong?
Maybe God has incredible foresight and wants me to get points. We'll see. Random prediction, I put no points for VCarb. So I love their livery. And they've got 14 points so far this season. They've scored in every race. But I remember my overriding memory of Jack Doohan is him crashing into the special livery RB car last year at Miami and then promptly getting fired for it afterwards. So I think there's just something about special liveries sometimes.
So you think the spirit of Jack Doohan will live on?
It's possible.
We talk about like he's died. He's not dead, but like his spirit will live on in Miami. And
Jack
will-
Doohan's just been in Miami this whole time.
Locked in a cupboard somewhere by Flavio Briatore.
And he's just going to get back in the Alpine just to drive into Liam Lawson again.
Yeah. Harvey, please, your DNF random prediction.
So I went for Verstappen as a random DNF. I think he's had a pretty miserable start to the year, and I think that's honestly not gonna get much better for this one as well. I think I don't know if he genuinely likes showing up to F1 races anymore. I think he much prefers his other sort of racing endeavours. And for a random prediction, I said that one Ferrari driver angers the other during the race by ignoring team orders. Because we had that last
That's
year.
a very good.
We had that
I
last
like that.
year, and I don't know. I feel like it could happen again because Miami again. It's quite difficult to overtake. I could see them being at some point in the race quite close. To be fair, they're not close in my predictions, but I don't know. I feel like at some point they might be quite close, and I feel like one of them just won't give up to the
If
other.
they do that in race 4 in their position, surely that's just like so petty.
It's really giving please let Michael pass with the championship
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
this 5th round of
It was for like
2020.
P7, wasn't it, last year? It wasn't for a big position. I think it was. Yeah.
Was last year have a tea break while you're at it?
Yeah.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah,
one of my
yes.
favourite.
I love that.
Great
quotes.
quote.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
great from Hamilton.
Up there with
True British
Very
driver
good
quote.
choice of an Italian tea.
Up there
Yeah.
with Must Be the Water as one of the
Yeah,
best from
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
2 bangers in about 5 races.
Yeah.
I need to get like a mug that says have a tea break while you're at it, like on it.
That would sell well. You should do it on Etsy. Callum?
So my DNF, I've gone with. Are we allowing the Cadillacs as a valid DNF?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sergio Perez. Then I just chose one of. It just there's not much difference to be
I
honest.
mean, Cadillac have a double finish in a race already.
They do, but the fact that we're saying that as a good thing shows
They-
us that we do not expect
they
them to
had
be
one-
reliable.
Callum, they had one before McLaren.
Thank you. I'm aware of this, but McLaren upgrades will hopefully bring some
But
goodness.
the Cadillac upgrade.
I'm thinking not going to work potentially because it's their first upgrade. So I don't know. I just chose a driver that is probably not going to. We can't pick.
No,
Aston
I'm rage
Martin.
baiting you. I'm not actually.
I hope it comes through. Random prediction. Hoping for more non-McLaren upgrade woes. 2 or more drivers do not start the race.
Is that random enough?
2 drivers not starting the race.
Given what we've seen so far in rounds
Well,
1
I
and
think
2,
didn't-
granted every car started in Japan, but
Yeah.
before that we had many.
I'm saying
DNFs.
2 is still fine. I'm guessing you're including both mechanical DNSs and formation lap crashes.
Yes.
We'll allow it.
Daniel's not
Begrudgingly.
happy
But
with
if
this.
it happens this week, then we'll stop allowing it.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on
that's
doing
fair.
that as my random prediction for the rest of the season, so I'm
You've just
fine.
blocked us off from doing something similar and
Yeah.
just taking the points easily, but never mind. That's fine, I guess. And that brings us to the end of our Miami Grand Prix preview. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Lucy, Callum, and Harvey, for joining me on this episode. Go and get your fix of F1. The break's almost over. Then we've got another one, but don't think about it. And we will see you all for the Miami review. Goodbye.